Well, I mean, he's using the term armada. What he actually means is the carrier strike group, the CSG, and at the center of gravity of that carrier strike group is the USS Abraham Lincoln, which is a Nimitz-class carrier. And it's huge. And the weaponry on there, the aircraft on there is significant. We saw something similar on Venezuela. But that carrier is surrounded, Lucy, by a lot of warships and submarines. And we can see the carrier there. This carrier is the center of gravity of pretty much the US military effort. It's not the only thing that the US has. It's got home basing. And on the security brief this week, we're really taking a deep dive into what military assets are there. But this is the center of gravity of what he's talking about on this armada. Now, it's a massively strategic asset. So those warships that follow it everywhere are basically providing a layered air defense system for it, because obviously the US, anything that happens to that carrier would be a major significant problem for the US. And in terms of intelligence and location and what Iran is trying to do, right up there on their intelligence feed, will be trying to understand where that carrier is accurate enough so they could feed any GPS data coordinates into any ballistic missiles or what they want to throw at that. And that's what Iran are doing at the moment. And we saw that yesterday. We saw a long-range Iranian surveillance drone just south of the Straits of Hormuz, and it will be looking at where that carrier strike group is.
President Trump talked about Operation Midnight Hammer in his Truth Social post, Mikey, and referred to the major destruction that was already done to Iran, and then said the next attack will be far worse. Do we actually know how much damage was done during that last US operation? Well, I mean, the primary target was the lifting of Maduro, and we know that was successful. And we covered that on the security brief a couple of weeks ago in terms of the components that went into that. And those components are no different, Lucy, to what will be required now. So if the US were looking at a lift on the Ayatollah, that would require, as it did with Maduro, a significant amount of intelligence. You can split those down really into three things. Human intelligence, so we know that the CIA had an asset inside the Venezuelan government. You're looking at imagery intelligence, which effectively comes from drones using cameras. And then you're looking at ELINT, which is electronic intelligence. And that's basically building up an electronic picture. SIGINT is a big part of that, signals intelligence, Lucy, where you can listen in the phone calls. And that's all about getting the location and the predictive patterns, called pattern of life, of what the primary target would be. In this case, it would be the Ayatollah. But there are so many other options, Lucy, outside of taking out the Ayatollah. It could be softening up surface-to-air defense systems, taking out ballistic missiles so they're no longer a threat to Israel. There's all sorts of courses of action. We call them in strategic military planning courses of action that the US will be looking at right now, and not one of them would be off the table. Okay, Mike, thank you so much.